Good afternoon to all of you. I hope all of you are fine and having a good time together. Yes. It is 12 watts. Say that serene is 12 watts. No. Shaida Siri, no, class 12 watts. She is from class 12 watts. 12 watts? Yeah. So, maybe she is calling for some other reason, whatever. So, we can continue. Yes, my students are here. 11 of them are present. Okay, you know, I think that your attendance will be taken, and those who have joined the class, please don't go, okay? So, I was dealing with the changing traditions, and we were discussing about the Renaissance. Can anyone tell me that up to which portion I have discussed? Sanjeevani? Sir, the chat ki asche? Women, okay, thank you. Thank you. So, we have discussed about the women's position, right? So, today we will discuss about the debates within Christianity, okay? So, those who have dealt, those students who are coming from the CBSE background, and in class 10, those who have dealt with novels or the print culture, they have, I think, heard about this topic which today I am going to start, that is the debates within Christianity. Why debates? Debates means there are some questions and there are some queries regarding some particular matter in Christianity, right? So, today we will discuss about that. So, what happens during the 15th century, early 15th and early 16th century, during this time, as I said earlier, that the printed books became available, and among the printed books which were available, it was the Bible. Bible was most available because it was the first printed book which was printed in the printing press of Johannes Gutenberg. And as Bible was available with everyone, people started reading the Bible at their homes. Earlier, what was the situation? Earlier, the situation was like this, that they used to go to the church and they used to listen to what the father or the pope or the bishops, they used to say about Bible. Like for example, if all of you don't have the book, history book which you are going through, if you don't have and I only have the book, then I can read out anything which is not written in the book, right? But as I am reading it from the book and you also have the book at your home, you can check it and you can tell me that, ma'am, you are going wrong. This part is not there in the book, right? So, you can check it. But in that time, there was no point of checking before the printing press. So, the Christian priests, that means the clergy, they used to monopolize the total system, total religious system. What they used to do? They used to spread different stories, they used to spread different other ideas which actually did not have any connection with religion. So what happened? One of the very famous practice of the Christians or the church during this time was selling the indulgences. Selling the indulgences. What is this? This is a piece of paper, it is like a document. There it is written that if you buy this paper named indulgences, then you are free. Then you are free to, yes, you are free from the sins which you have done. Sin means bad work. Like, I have murdered 2 people. I have murdered 2 people, so there is a sin. It is a sin, it is a bad work, right? So, to wash that sin from me, I can go to the church and buy the indulgences with high value, 500 rupees or 1000 rupees. If I buy that paper, supposedly I am washed with the sin. Why it is necessary to wash the sin? Why it is necessary to wash the sin? Because in Christianity there was a belief that when you die, you go to heaven or hell. And what will decide, or who will decide that whether you will go to heaven or hell? It will be decided through a judgment, which is known as the final judgment. So, at the gate of the heaven, when you die, when you reach there, the gods and goddesses will, or Jesus will ask about your life. What are the crimes if you have done? What are the sins you have done? If they see that the percentage of your sin is higher, then the gate of heaven will be closed for you and you will be sent to hell, where devil with a horn is sitting with a bowl of oil to fry you. So, everyone wanted to go to heaven, nobody wanted to go to hell. So, if you do sin, if you do any kind of a crime, then you cannot go to heaven. So, that is why you do crime, you do sin, then you go to church, buy the paper of indulgence and wash your sins away. It was a peculiar kind of an idea, but the Europeans, the innocent Europeans who have never read about Bible, who have never read about all these scriptures, they believed it and they used to go and buy those indulgences from the church, and that money was a typical what we can say process of suppression, and they have captured it, right. So, what happened actually, that these people, the innocent Europeans, those who have done any crime, they used to go to church and used to buy the document of indulgence and get rid of the sins. So, you can understand that church during the 15th century, during the 16th century became an institution, became one of the very important institution of greed, lobhi. They became very greedy. That's why they made such rules. That's why they used to capture all these people, all these innocent people, and used to sell them, right. So, that is why people, they, after they started reading the Bible, they understood that in Bible nothing like the indulgences or selling indulgences is present there, and as nothing is present, they understood that the church people, they have monopolized them, and as they understood this, what happened? What happened? They started asking, they started questioning the church. Why? Because then they can get the proper answer, right? This was the actual reason. Understood? And in this case, in the 15th century in Germany, a monk whose name was Martin Luther, this man, Martin Luther, he raised his voice. He said that whatever the church is saying, whatever the bishops, the clergy, the fathers are saying, that's our bullshit, that's our wrong. So he asked 95 questions. He asked 95 questions to the church and written those questions in a paper and pasted it on the wall of a church. And he demanded that the church should give him the answer of all 95 questions. If the church failed to do that, if the church failed to do that, then he will start a new revolution. He will start a new revolution. He will divide the Christianity. He will divide the Christianity and start a new religion. And as he pasted, he had a follower group. They also demanded the answers of those 95 questions. But church, the fathers, the bishops, they failed to do that. So Martin Luther started his movement, and Martin Luther's movement's name is known as Protestantism. So he started a movement known as Protestantism, which divided the Christian religion. So the Christian religion was divided into Protestantism and another old group, that is Catholics. So Catholics and Protestantism. What is the difference between Catholics and Protestants? The difference is that the Catholics are much more ritualistic, much more materialistic. But the Protestant people, they didn't believe in all those rituals. Rituals means Niyam Kanun, okay? That means that when lots and lots of rituals are there in any kind of a religion, then you actually forget the process of worship. So in Protestantism, they say that forget about rituals, forget about materials, we will only worship Jesus. So in the Protestant church, if you go, then you will see that only the cross of crucifixion, the cross as a symbol of Jesus is present there, nothing else. But if you go and visit any Catholic church which is available in India, you will see that in those churches, statues of Mother Mary is available, statues of baby Jesus, statues of big Jesus is available, many other paintings related with angels and demons and everything is presented. It's much more decorated. But Protestant churches are not decorated, it is very simply made and only the crucifixion cross is there. Which countries they supported this Protestantism? First it was Germany, then it was Switzerland, then it was France, then it was England and many other European countries they accepted. So Martin Luther, first he started his protest movement, his revolution or revolt against the Catholics. Okay? So this was the Protestantism. Why the name was Protestantism? Because they started while protesting. They started to protest, that's why the name was Protestantism. Understood? So first Martin Luther started it Then it spread, the ideas of Protestantism spread to other countries like Switzerland, and in Switzerland it was another man, another two men who gave the leadership. One was Ulrich Zwingli and another was Jean Calvin. Okay? So they started the movement and they continued it. You will see that in every part of the world, in different times, when a religion became very famous or became very authoritative, then obviously this type of revolution, this type of revolts take place. Like in Hindu, Brahmanical Hindu religion, you can see that Vaishnavism, or we can call it Bhakti movement, right, where they are also the Hindu, Brahmanical Hindu people, but their worship style, their worship ideas, philosophies are completely different, which you will study in class 12 about the Bhakti and Sufi movements, where we will study the liberal sections of Brahmanical Hindu religion and Islamic religion. Okay, understood? Now, not only this, those people who remained in the Roman Catholic sector, that is the Catholicism or the Catholics, they also realized that their religion has gone through lots and lots of changes. So, some new things has to be introduced and the old practices has to be discarded. So, in this measure, a reform movement also started, a reform movement through which the whole religion was reformed, and this was started by a Spanish man whose name was Ignatius Loyola, who established the Society of Jesus. He established the Society of Jesus, and his followers were known as Jesuits. So, they were from Spain. So, they started to spread the reformed version of Catholicism or Catholic Christianity. In India, whatever the churches, the Christians available, mostly they are the followers of the Jesuits, the Society of the Jesus, like the St. Xavier's, like the St. Paul's, they are all from the Society of the Jesus. Understood? And like this Society of Jesus, one example which is available for India, that is Sri Ramakrishna Dev. Ramakrishna Dev also was a Brahmanical Hindu Brahmin, right? But whatever he said, whatever he did, that was not a conservative Hinduism. Like he stopped Sati Pratha, he rejected the torture of the widows, he agreed to the Widow Remarriage Act, he accepted that anybody can come to the temple and worship. These things started by Ramakrishna Dev was very important for Brahmanical Hindu religion. So, Ramakrishna Dev is known as the reformer of Brahmanical Hindu religion in India. Understood? So, like that, Ignatius Loyola was known as the reformer of Christian religion or the Catholic Christianism in Europe. So, this is the debate. That is why this topic which today we have discussed about the religion, that is the Martin Luther's part, and the part of the Jesuits, that is why this portion is known as Protestant Reformation. Protestant Reformation movement. Understood? So, this is known as the Protestant Reformation movement, where in Christianity questions arise and the people, they gave answer to the questions. Understood? So, in your question paper, if you see a question coming with the name this Protestant Reformation movement, if I ask you a question like this, that what do you understand by Protestant Reformation movement? Then you have to understand that I am talking about the debates in Christianity. So, in your book, if it is available with you right now, you can also write down this name, that it is known as the Protestant Reformation movement. Understood? Okay, any doubts? Any ideas? Thank you, Sanjivani. Thank you, Brishti, Shomshubro. Okay. So, you have understood this portion. So, next day we will see about the Copernicus revolution or the scientific revolution and another debate at the end of our chapter. Okay. So, till then, goodbye. Have a nice day.